right, y'all, welcome to a special roundtable of Street Apologists Live. I'm your host, Vocab Malone. This is the show where we serve the underserved and look into the overlooked. And I am joined by three people, but it would not be possible, number one, without God, and number two, without Chris Featherstone. Thank you for letting us use your studio, brother.
Yes. It's a pleasure, man. I spent a lot of money for this, and now I want it to be utilized. So, yes, we are here.
Guinea pigs.
Yes, indeed.
Now, usually you're podcasting on wrestling, even some forensic psychology. You want to talk briefly about that? Let people know if they got that interest?
Yeah, absolutely. So Dr. Chris Featherstone is my YouTube page as far as this theology, psychology, true crime. That's my tagline for my personal page. And that's what I talk about. I usually do true crime cases. I used to do word of faith stuff. Sometimes it may creep back up because my last video was actually about Kanye, word of faith, and mix some psychology with it. So usually do true crime stuff when it comes to that. My channel actually improved a lot when I started talking about the theology and psychology behind true crime and criminology. So yeah, that's what my personal channel is all about, and go there and have a lot of fun doing it. And when I get more time, I was actually getting paid on YouTube. YouTube sent me a message saying, "Hey, you need to post something, or we're not going to monetize you anymore." And I didn't post because I didn't have time, and so they demonetized me. So I'll pick that back up sooner than later.
What about pancakes and power slap?
Yeah, so that's every week, man. So what I do is I do psychology classes on different pro wrestling topics or curtain buzzing topics. I'll bring a whole psychology class into it. So it's like me being a professor in front of students. And they're live and virtual, and I do a straight up class every single week.
Well, again, thanks for letting us be here. And so we got Vocab, we got my brother Chris, and we got my brother-in-law, Anthony. And I have your shirt on today, Allies and Majesty. Tell us a little bit about what you do, brother.
Well, mostly I am working on a role-playing game, Christian-oriented, and it's centered around ancient Near Eastern stuff.
Allies and Majesty.
Yes. Ancient concepts of angels and all that kind of stuff, but trying to just clue people in as they play to ancient thought, ancient Hebrew ways of looking at the world, kind of immerse yourself in that while you're having fun.
You dropped a new book.
Yes, I did. Absolutely.
How do people find it?
Well, let's see, August 14th, you'll be able to find it on Amazon.
Wow.
Allies and Majesty Chronicles.
I got an advanced copy. Pretty dope. Last but not least, the man in the Ohio shirt, Miguel, the cousin to that. All right, listen, Miguel.
This is why I plug my YouTube, my Patreon, my Twitter. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, you do have a specialty.
He does.
Tell us about your specialty. This dude is more famous on X than any of us combined. If there's I know you are famous, but I'm telling you, if there's a celebrity at this table, you actually don't know it's him.
Nice.
Yes.
Tell us about your celebrity status and the famous people you've been retweeted by.
Oh my gosh. Actually, this is funny because I just remembered the other day that at one time the actor John Cusack quote tweeted me on Twitter, which was really random. So yeah, I do like MMA and combat sports, wrestling, boxing, breakdowns, and things like that. I post clips on Twitter, and that's how people know me on the internet of anything. But that is totally irrelevant to what we're doing here.
And you're also a rocket scientist?
Yeah, and that is also irrelevant. No, I do not work on rockets, but I am an aerospace engineer, and I work on racing stuff, though, which is also, so yeah, I bring all this really interesting expertise to talk about, Christian apologetics and Mormons and stuff.
Nice. And that's what we're talking about today. Perfect segue. You're a true professional. Now we see why you're the celebrity. We're going to be talking about LDS stuff. That's Latter-day Saint, Church of Jesus Christ, as they call it. So we know who we are. So, Chris, why does it matter? Why should a Christian talk about LDS, Mormonism in the first place? Why do we settle on this?
Well, it comes to the First Peter as far as having an answer for always having an answer, for those who have questions when it comes to defense, apologia, defense. And a lot of times what happens is a lot of these fringe Christian groups, which are really cults, they consider themselves Christians. And so what happens is they just blend in right into Christian groups and say, hey, I'm Christian. So what that does is it creates a gate way to come right into, especially for those who aren't very seasoned, who are very, knowledge in the word. There's things that happens a lot of times with cult groups is I'll give you a little bit of what you want to transition into what I'm really want to teach you. So
Right.
Mormons call themselves Christians to do those types of things, just like any other fringe group in a Christian Christian sector.
That's good. And I'm glad you brought up 1 Peter 3:15. Lots of scriptures we could bring up in relationship to this. Anthony, if you were going to give a Christian a general overview of Mormon belief as quick as possible.
Well, you're asking the wrong guy for as quick as possible.
Well, I mean, we could come back to you and ask you for a couple key distinctives, I guess.
There you go.
Miguel, overview of Mormonism, basic beliefs.
Yeah. Have you ever wanted to become God? Well, you can if you become Mormon and you follow all the rules and go to the temple.
Very nice infomercial.
Much better answer than I would have given.
Like an advertisement.
That is great.
There was this lady I heard about in Genesis chapter 3, and she wanted to become just like God.
Yeah.
And she just had to eat of this fruit. And she did it and then plunged the world into sin. And it kind of sounds similar.
Yeah. I wonder why. I wonder if that person that deceived her might be using the same playbook for, all of human history. But, that might be a separate, or maybe I'm just, jumping ahead or
Spitballing here.
Yeah.
Spitballing here. Or jumping ahead. Okay, Anthony, what are some distinctive doctrines you might want to bring up that people should know about within LDS theology and practice?
Well, I think one of the key things when you say you're Christian, then you're speaking of Christ as God and as the path to salvation. But one of the key distinctives there for me is that we are not, in their belief, we are the same as Christ. He is our brother, not in the proverbial way where he's also God, but he is no more God than we are.
He's basically just an upperclassman.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
She got there first.
He got to do what he got to do because he came up with the plan for it. It was his idea, so God said, okay, you get to do it.
But his brother,
But otherwise, he's not. Yeah.
who was his brother again?
His brother was Satan or Lucifer. They say Lucifer. I think they do. Yeah. And that's the difference. His plan wasn't as good, so I'm going to go with your plan. Therefore, you're cursed.
The problem that the way they present it basically is that Satan's plan was too Calvinistic.
Oh, yeah.
It removed free agency.
Yeah.
That's literally basically what they go with. It removed free agency. And so they were having a discussion. And just think about it. Jesus could talk to Lucifer and be like, bro. And he'd be actually literally true. Literally true. Well, okay. So, Chris, we're gonna continue on, and let's just start right off. What's your problem with Mormonism, bro? Why would you say? Because you indicated in the beginning, some groups say they're Christian.
Yeah.
What's your problem with Mormonism?
Because it's antithetical to Christian, to Orthodox Christian doctrine, man. I mean, like when you're dealing with Joseph Smith, Brigham Young, I mean, across Mormonism, it's not, first of all, they have extra biblical content. The pearl of great price, the doctrine of confidence, what I mean? So they have extra biblical, content that they use from, which is not scripture.
Their book, when they hold it together,
it has the four Holy Bible, pearl of great price,
Doctrine of Covenants. It's called a quad. It's called the quad. So they have it, and I actually want a quad because I don't know if you've ever seen the missionaries when they pull out. You got this big old, and they unzip it.
Yeah. I saw it. It's like it's kind of like a purse kind of.
I want to get me a good quad, but the good ones are kind of expensive.
I imagine it's 4 books in one, of the 4 greatest books of the Mormon religion. So
yeah, that's the idea there.
Yeah.
So there's some things. What about you, Miguel? Why do you think it's worthy to be challenged? This idea, the ideas that Mormonism teaches, whichever idea. Why do you think we should take it on? Basically,
Yeah, I mean, one major thing is that they do not have a gospel that saves. Partly because of what Anthony says, that they don't have a view of Christ that is accurate to what the Bible represents, but also because they do not teach a doctrine of grace. So they essentially teach a works-based salvation, which is condemned by the Bible, and they are trying to earn their own way to the highest form of heaven. and they're deceiving people. So I think that is, if you are taking Mormon doctrine seriously and you believe in it, then you are not a believer and you're destined for hell. So I think it's very serious.
Yeah, they promote exaltation, but ultimately it's condemnation.
Yeah.
Which is, we do some things jovial, but ultimately there's a concern here for our neighbors and people we work with. Maybe let's get one more. Anthony, why do you think it's worthy to do this? And maybe even you have a scripture or something like that to bring up relevant to this.
Well, if you say really hitting back to kind of where my specialty is, I find that where a lot of people, what Chris was saying about how they fall into, I get a little closer here.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, how they fall into, give you a little bit of what you want or what you believe is true so that I can get you where I'm really going. A lot of Christians don't know where we come from and our roots and our source.
Yep.
And that's the same vulnerability that you find in Mormonism. So I feel like if they really understood, when they do, some of them really understand what their beliefs are actually saying, it's like, wait a second, I'm not believing that. And I feel like we would have the opposite. I mean, I feel like it's a challenge to us to know our roots as well.
Yep.
Amen. Here's a verse we'll look at, and then we're going to talk briefly about some tips about how to share the gospel with these folks. The book of Galatians, you have Paul saying in verse 6, I marvel that you are so quickly deserting him who called you by the grace of Christ for a different gospel. And that's exactly what Cousin Miguel brought up in the beginning, that ultimately is a different gospel. Now, they're claiming, of course, that it's a restored gospel. So in a way, they're almost admitting it's a different gospel. They're just saying we have the corrupt version and they have the restored version. And then verse 7 says, which is really not another, only there are some who are disturbing you and want to distort the gospel of Christ. Now, obviously, this is written in the first century. Galatians, one of the earliest New Testament epistles written. And you have this already happening where people are bringing this other gospel and it's disturbing and distorting. So it disturbs the Christian there because they're like, wait, what's true here, And he's like, hey guys, you're going off course. Here's how we started. I'm amazed that you're so quickly getting deceived. But this is a distortion of the gospel. But even if we, verse 8, and this is interesting that he mentioned specifically an angel, but even if we or an angel from heaven should proclaim to you a gospel contrary to the gospel he proclaimed to you, let him be
anathema.
That's right. And then he repeats it again in verse 9. Now, why is the mention of angels so important in this text? Roundtable.
Yeah, well, it's really important because it sounds eerily similar to the experience that Joseph Smith had because of his weird visions of Jesus and the Father. It's honestly, and if you press a Mormon about this, there's not a lot different between the kind of experience that Joseph Smith had and the kind of experience that Muhammad had. Yeah. And so you're having some sort of weird supernatural experience where somebody reveals new scripture to you. That sounds a lot like what Paul was talking about in Galatians.
Yeah. One was in a sacred grove. That's where Joseph Smith went. The other was in a cave. And one was the angel Gabriel. And the other one was two personages, he says. Yeah. Now, what's interesting is if you study this, and this is really undeniable, Mormon apologists try to downplay this. There are multiple versions of the so-called first vision.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and you can go to a couple great websites. The main one I'll recommend is Mormonism Research Ministry, and they even compare the different accounts. And Robert Bowman did some great work on this. Now, Anthony, anything you want to say about the angel? Do you think the angel Moroni is basically a what?
Well, I was going to say, obviously a fallen angel, I mean, in that regard, or Satan appearing as an angel of light, as the gospel would say. There's the New Testament. I don't know. It's. Sorry about that.
Sorry, I had to do some Edomite service there.
Right.
No, but to Joseph, isn't his view of Moroni like the last American prophet or something like that? Like that's still American, last prophet from the American civilization or something.
I was unaware of this.
Yeah, so let's talk about this because this relates to something I'm going to be doing as part of this Ohio trip. Let's talk about it. Yeah. So there's two groups of lost Israelites who end up fighting each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And the main one that Mormons talk about frequently are called the Lamanites.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they have these battles, and basically the bad guys win. The bad, corrupt Israelites defeat the good Israelites. Now, if you look at the original tales of this, basically the bad ones are dark and the good ones are light.
Uh-oh.
They try to rework that, but that's just is what it is. Okay. Right?
Yep.
Okay. So basically these Native Americans are actually Israelites. So this actually goes into something sometimes scholars call the Hebraic Indian theory. Or sometimes they call it the Israelite Indian theory. Those are the names that scholars use because this was in the water in America at this time.
Yeah.
People wondered, where do the Native Americans came from? A popular theory was they're actually lost Israelites. So this gets codified in the Book of Mormon. And the idea is Moroni is the last one of these good guy prophets from these Native Americans who are actually Israelites. And he writes a record of the people and their struggles and all this in reformed Egyptian on golden plates.
Yep.
Kind of close to Joseph Smith's house in upstate New York at Palmyra. And lo and behold, Joseph Smith, who was known to be a treasure finder.
He used seer stones.
And this was not his first mystic.
Divining around.
He would get in trouble.
He was an occultist, too.
Yeah, he got in trouble for leading people astray in this area.
Yeah.
So this is what he does. And this time he finds something that only he sees that now apparently is in heaven. But he takes it back and there he gets the Book of Mormon. But it is the record of that. Now, the reason I bring all that up is in Ohio.
Yeah.
Who's seen the Hopewell Indian Mound Builders, where they have the Mound Builders in Newark, Ohio? Have you guys ever seen that or heard about that? Have you ever been or just?
No, as a kid. Not enough that I remember it.
So they'll have these mounds and there's some evidence that it's burial grounds, but the thing is there's other stuff they found in there. So there's some debate about exactly.
Really know exactly.
Is that what the serpent mound is? Or you're like, yeah, okay.
When you're viewing it, I mean, there's a lot of mathematical. That's a whole rabbit trail.
Yeah, so that's what's really amazing though, is the fact that these can be seen basically what would now be like a drone's view.
Right. Exactly.
And it's like, well, wait, how did you get up there to figure this out?
Right.
They are fascinating. So you go there, there's controversial, this and that, but supposedly in the 1800s, a guy found one that lo and behold had Hebrew writing on it and supposedly a priestly image on it. Well, this is a matter from controversy, but it fit right in with the idea of the Hebraic Indian theory that was going around at this time. And these Newark Holy Stones, as they're sometimes called, eventually got transferred to Coshocton County, which is further out from Newark, and you can still see them today. But the Ohio Historical Society has proven, and they're not the only ones, but without a shadow of doubt, that it's a fraud.
Yeah,
it's a later invention. But that didn't stop Glenn Beck on Fox News from
A popular Mormon, by the way.
Yes, doing the whole chalkboard thing, trying to prove that Native Americans are descendants from Israelites. And the Newark Holy Stones were about 5 minutes worth of his evidence.
Yeah.
And he's not the only one. This has been promoted on the History Channel. And guess who else likes to use it? One West Hebrew Israelites.
Oh, no, well,
also using. Yes, because remember the Hebrew Israelites of the One West variety. So that's what this track is written against. Testimonies of God, my friends who did this. They also claim Native Americans are Israelites. And so they also say, look, this is evidence that these folks were actually lost Israelites. So I'm going to go visit these and do
which there's no genealogical evidence at all.
Yeah, if you want to get into paternal haplogroups, most Native Americans are Q and most West Africans are E.
Yeah.
And when you get into Semitic peoples, you have a lot of J and some E, but it's definitely not Q. And then Europeans tend to be R. So it's just, and this is just like a bird's eye view of this stuff.
Yeah.
It's highly problematic to put all these different people on there. And it's also highly problematic. I'm not talking about the 12 tribes chart now, like put them all together. It's also highly problematic to say that they're Native American. There's some good books on this, the genetics of Native Americans. So that's something that ties into it. And really it kind of just shows that it's fantasy and it's based upon what was happening in the religious culture of the United States. That and the King James Version being ripped off. So before we go to Miguel and get some stories from witnessing the Mormons and tips, I want to make sure Chris and then Anthony say a little something because we want to listen to Miguel for a while after this. Brother Chris.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, the 4 books and then the Moroni. I think that one thing that when I was studying Mormonism pretty heavily some years ago, I was really targeting the racial undertones that happened with the Mormon faith and how there wasn't a black priest until 1978. And the thoughts of black people, period, was that the dark skin was a sign of a curse. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, man, where is that said in the Bible? Of course, Hebrew Israelites to your end, they would use the word black as if it has to do with skin color versus just a shade from the sun. But it's just, I find it interesting of how people like the Hebrew Israelites, like Mormons, can use skin color or black or skin tone as their own type of explanation of skin color, where it's just not biblically sound. It's not biblically accurate. It's not exegetically, proven for that to be the case.
Yeah, some Mormons used to say what happened with Cain.
Yeah,
was he turned black?
Yep.
Sometimes now to be fair to them, there were people who call themselves Christians who also try to use that at various times, and of course the so-called curse of Ham from Genesis 9. So again, but it's not sort of officially in the Bible. Within the Book of Mormon story, it seems like it's baked into the actual narrative versus like an invention or a contrivance. Yeah. And so there's deeper problems with that, because the idea apparently is in the pre-existence, when we were intelligences, was that black and brown folks were less noble or neutral in the battle of the heavens between Lucifer's side and the Jesus side. And so then they inherited black or brown bodies versus those who are more noble or more valiant in the pre-existence, and they got white bodies and even often Mormon families. Yeah. But the reason why they don't remember it is because you want a body so bad within Mormonism. When Heavenly Father says, hey, you want to go down there? You're like, yeah. And he says, but you're not going to remember anything. And you say, I still want a body so bad, so get me down there. He says, okay, but look at this. I'm about to men in black you. And then you go down.
Yeah, right.
So
I thought the Brigham Young's God Adam theory was Adam God theory was interesting too. It was disavowed, but I always thought that was a very interesting concept.
Yeah, disavowed later on. But if you would have tried to disagree with Brigham Young during that time, you would have gotten in trouble. Yeah. People don't understand the level of. To me, he was sort of a tyrant over Utah at that time.
And driving out the natives too.
Yeah,
yep, that's true.
Watch September Dawn with John Voight if you want to see a wild movie based upon a lot of truth and some crazy stuff. The Mountain Meadows Massacre. Yeah, it's hard to disassociate him from that, but I don't think so. Anthony, one other thing before we go over to story time with Miguel.
Yeah. The thing that always stands out to me is the same thing that stands out to me with Islam. And there's a lot of parallels between the two, is the idea of religion of man. It's a religion that so often the beliefs or the tenets are things that a person would want.
Right.
You know what I mean? That like, well, if you could make up forget your Christian values or whatever values you have, if you could just get the things you want, what would you say this religion should be? And then they're there. Wow. And like the polygamy came up, for example, later. It comes up later and it's like, it cracks me up that it's like, God told me repeatedly, even though I argue with him, I told him, please no, God, please no. But he says, you must marry multiple women. You must take multiple wives. There is no way for you to ascend. And that's the thing, to say something so strong, there is no way for you to ultimately ascend without doing this, to then switch it around and 2 leaders later after Brigham Young and the next guy, because the government's pressing on them and making it illegal. Now suddenly, no, you must not.
Yeah.
You cannot. So we have our own religion telling us, not our own, but them, that this is the only way you can ultimately ascend. But then we say, no, you may not. None of you may do this.
Yeah, it was like this. Hello, United States. We would like our area to become a state. Hello, Mormons. Listen, we're interested in that. We don't like the name Deseret. Sounds too much like desert. We're going to call it Utah after the Native Americans were there. But you got to drop something first. oh, we really want to become a state. We know in times past we've been kind of rebellious. We weren't very nice to some of the tax collectors and different census guides you sent our way. But now we really do want to become part of the United States. Just tell us what it is. What do we need to do to become a state? Drop a look at me. Silence on the other end for a little bit. You know what's weird? I just got a revelation that says we are allowed to drop polygamy. In fact, it's outlawed. What incredible timing! Yeah. That's really good. Let's get right on that. We'll get back with you. Thanks. Hey guys, I got an announcement to make. It was kind of like that. It's pretty much. Here, you can have the government's phone back.
Very nice. Very good.
So in all seriousness, you've had some recent discussions with some Mormon neighbors, we'll call it that, missionaries.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about it. I want to hear the tell and tell us how it went and maybe some tips, some things you learned.
Yeah, so the first tip is that you can actually go on the website and just request Mormon missionaries to come to your house. So that's how we actually got missionaries to come to our house, because they don't often come into our neighborhood necessarily. We live in sort of a black neighborhood.
We have a lot of people who are less valued in the pre-existence.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. So they don't exactly come to our neighborhood that much, but we just requested it, and then they start texting you, and then you kind of have to prove that you're actually really interested. And I didn't lie or anything like that, but I just told them that I'm a Christian and I don't believe the Book of Mormon, but I'm interested to talk more. So we got them to come over. And the thing about witnessing to Mormons is that, in my experience, I always want to get into all these things that we've talked about here. Like, I want to bring up the Book of Abraham because it's hilarious to me. It's so funny, and it's
a bombshell.
It's just like, you feel like it would be a nail in the coffin for any logical person. Or you want to bring up the plagiarism of the King James Version or other.
Can you tell us about that briefly, though? Because that's a big thing. I don't know if everyone realized this. Can you break down that problem?
Yeah, so there's a bunch of problems. Number one, that they just wholesale copy even entire chapters like of Isaiah into the Book of Mormon. And then there's just like, if you read any of the parts that are sort of the parallel New Testament stuff when Jesus shows up, it's just pulling lots and lots of quotes from Matthew, from Luke, from Mark, from 1st and 2nd John, all these things. Like, it's just pulling them right into there, which obviously doesn't make any sense. Like, they call it another testament of Jesus Christ, right? So, and we have the 4 Gospels, and we can see like the history of how they either relate to each other, and scholars can debate that and stuff. But
which, by the way, I don't think they added that subtitle until 1981.
Yeah,
I think it's when they did that.
Yeah, that's so. But the problem is that it's not just that they had a similar tradition or something like that. It's that they copied explicitly the King James Version to the extent to where when there are errors in the King James Version, they get copied over into the Book of Mormon, and they have to come up with some serious mental gymnastics to explain that away and say, well, you know, Joseph Smith was really just communicating in the language of the people, or when he was reading through the seer stone and he came to the chapter of Isaiah, he just recited it from memory from the King James Version, and that's how it ended up in there. But it's like, when you know their whole argument for the translation process, it doesn't make any sense that that's how it would happen. So yeah, that's a really crazy problem. And I do want to talk to Mormons about that stuff, but I feel like I can never get past the first stage of essentially epistemology. Like, how do we know what's true? Because Mormons, they, especially nowadays, they kind of know a lot of this stuff that's going.
Before they would sometimes not know, but now because of the internet, they're a lot more aware of their own problems.
Exactly. They kind of know this stuff is out there. Like, they know about the South Park episode. They know about, you know, the all the stuff surrounding Joseph Smith. They know about a lot of this stuff. And where a lot of them have settled is just, I know that the Book of Mormon is true because I read it and God told me that it's true. And so we have to get into this discussion with them about, is that really a biblical way to ascertain truth? Is that ever the case that you just have to ask God and he'll tell you via a feeling or an emotion? And so that's where it gets, I think, that's where the rubber really meets the road with Mormons, and really coming down on the fact that nowhere is that prescribed in Scripture. And actually, if anything, there's a warning against that sort of naivety. And in reality, like you mentioned earlier with Galatians, how there were already these false gospels coming up in the first century that they had to deal with over and over again. Never in the situation of all these did Paul say, okay, to know that it's false, just pray and ask God and he'll tell you that it's a false doctrine.
Yeah, which is from the book of James. They always pull that out.
Right. So James 1, yeah, that just to quickly go over the context of that, because I think that's a really heavily misquoted one, even within Christianity. So,
but if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all generously and without reproach, and it will be given to him. James 1:5.
Yeah. So the verse right before that ends with, you will be complete lacking in nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's talking about counting it all joy when you face various trials, knowing that you'll be granted perseverance and steadfastness, and that will produce this character change, and you will be perfect, full, complete, lacking in nothing. So he ends that verse lacking in nothing, and then he says in the next verse that if any of you lacks wisdom, so there's clearly a connection there in thought. He's talking about lacking nothing, and then he talks about lacking wisdom. So I think in context, James is not just giving a prescription that if you lack wisdom about anything ever, then you can just ask God and he'll give it to you.
Anton LaVey comes to your house, hands you the book of Satan.
Yeah.
Says, hey, I want you to pray to see if this is true.
Exactly.
Do you need to pray?
No.
To find out if the Satanic Bible is true or not.
But what James is saying, I think, there is something cool, which is that if you lack the wisdom to know God's sovereignty in the midst of your suffering and how he's working that out for your good, you can ask for that and he will give that to you. It's a personal thing that James is using to encourage them in the book of James, not just this carte blanche that you can know all things just by asking God. And then you see in Ephesians 4, Colossians 2, these other places that actually what is prescribed is that you need to take certain precautions so that you won't get, like in Ephesians 4, tossed to and fro by the winds and wave of every deceitful doctrine. So in there, the prescription is not just to ask God directly, but to get equipped by spiritual leaders, apostles and prophets and evangelists and pastor teachers, so you need to get equipped there. And there's like a process that can go there for gaining wisdom, and it's searching the scriptures, and it's being equipped by other people so that you can be mature. Or like in Romans 12, that what you really need is to be transformed by the renewing of your mind so that you can discern what's true or right. So none of this is just like, okay, well, you're going to sit down with the Bible or the Book of Mormon, and you're just going to see how it makes you feel. And if you get warm fuzzies inside, then you know it's true.
Right.
And so I think that thing is what most Mormons, I think, nowadays are holding on to, that warm fuzzy feeling that they get. But of course they're going to have a warm fuzzy feeling. This is how they grew up. Like, it's nostalgia, it's their culture, it's all these things. They're going to have a feeling towards it. But Muslims also have a feeling. Jehovah's Witnesses also have a feeling.
It's interesting. It's interesting that you say that because, I study a lot about Mormon, but I actually came from Word of Faith.
Yeah.
That was my background as far as the faith is concerned before I left Word of Faith in 2006. And the warm, fuzzy feeling, and Anthony, you were talking about some things too. It sounds very Word of Faithy to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like this random, revelation that someone gets about something that's very convenient or something that's very, Word of Faith people talking about like presidential stuff, and this person is going to become president, and this person is going to get, this, and this death is going to happen. And just, I'm a professor in the doctrine of psychology, and usually a lot of that stuff falls under what's called the Barnum effect, the Forer effect, and basically just generalizations that people specifically can find things to attach them with, and they consider that truth.
Yeah,
and so it seems like there's a lot of correlation when it comes to that too. Yeah,
that's good. That's good. Now you can see why we invited the Rabbi. Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Now, do you think we should do as a bonus for this episode, show all the different thumbnails that AI came up with?
Let's do it.
We'll show them the alternative ones. I'll have to put this. I'm going to have the editor overlay these because we've got this one where I look like a tired Chicano. And we've got this one where they put all the text from the show. Oh, wait, hold on. They put all the text from the show on top of it. You see, yeah, that's what's way too. It's like a 1989 magazine.
Yes.
Then we've got this one that just seems like it's saying we are Mormons.
Yeah. Mormons.
We don't look like Mormons.
Yeah, it's like trying again for the first time. Yeah. And then we've got this one where they cartooned it, but why are there so many Mormons? They're multiplying like rabbits.
I think it turned me. If you look, it turned me into 4 Mormons.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Bro, you amoebid Mormons.
Well, I'm the whitest out of all the blood. So it says that's the Mormon.
Bro, he's Heavenly Father, bro. Apparently. You know?
There you
And
go.
this is the one I think we're liking the best,
Yeah.
right? Everything's like, this is about as good as it got, if we're going to go with that. And then one more. I like that one too. One of those two, huh? Okay, so now let's end with a fun little segment. Chris, do you want to introduce this closing segment? Do you remember what we said we were going to do?
What part?
Hold on, I'll show you. right here. Hold on, where'd it go now?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
All right, Chris, explain how we're going to do this.
All right, let's. All right, here we go. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the segment of this part of the pod is: if Mormons had a professional wrestling league.
No, if the cults had a professional
Okay.
Yeah,
If,
how is it called?
okay. Yeah, of course. Okay, here we go.
and we got to fight them, though.
Yes, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
The portion of this pod is: if cults had a professional wrestling league.
What? All right, are we going to call it the CWF?
Cult Wrestling Federation?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Are we going to go with that? Is that
Sure.
Does someone have a better name?
For that. That's good.
So, okay.
Maybe Satan should be in the name somewhere. I don't know.
Or the HWA, the Heretic Wrestling Association. You would have Satan in there? We'll have a summer event called Satan Summer Slam.
There you go.
Satan Slam.
Okay, Satan Slam. Okay, so speaking of that, if we did, let's go with the Mormons first. First of all, they've got to be a tag team. It's got to be 2, right? And I feel like one of their moves could be called the Celestial Slam.
Yes.
The finishing move, they pile drive you right into the third heaven.
Yes. It's like a spike pile driver. Someone comes up from the top rope from the heavens, and they spike the pile driver to help it, and you go straight down to the heavens.
What if they have like the repeat punch? Yeah, they call it like spirit babies. Spirit babies.
Where are they punching you at?
I don't know. I mean just like in the face or whatever, but they're coming. Your fists are coming out like spirit babies.
I'll say, but could we call that the door knock?
You could do that. There you go.
Now, how about the what's the joint in boxing when you practice and you have like
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying.
the medicine
That
bag?
would be called like a door knocker.
No, I'll make it sleep on because you could do that.
Or the Mormon will go, I'm about to ring your bell.
There you go.
You know,
The bell ringer.
and he touches you once and you knock out, right?
You have Jim Rock.
So sometimes people have, I don't know what the word is, illegal objects.
Foreign objects.
Full objects.
Yes.
Okay, so what's the deal with foreign objects?
Foreign objects are illegal, man. They are usually brass knuckles or some type of object that gives an advantage to the wrestler, but the referee doesn't see it though.
So is it possible somehow the Mormon's foreign object could be slamming a bicycle on you?
It has to be discreet though. How
Can it just be under the stage?
as long as the referee is distracted? Yes.
What do you guys think? And when they win, they go 1, 2, 3, Ward. No, never mind.
So I got one. So then, what if since it's tag team?
Yeah.
What if you take out the one partner?
Yeah.
So then they bought, they like whatever the flip is behind, suplex. What there you go, and you call that one because the one's out already.
All right.
Baptism for the dead.
Oh, that could be also a move. Like they've got you, they're above you. Because if there you go, this is pretty good.
Slamming your head into the turnbuckle.
I'm feeling. Wow, these are pretty good. Maybe another 4 object could be someone with a name tag.
Or the temple card.
I'm about to close your temple. All right, so that's 1 2x2. Jehovah's Witnesses. What's a good move for a Jehovah's Witness tag team to have, Anthony?
See, I feel like you got a lot of those overlap. They could share a lot of moves, like the door knocker.
Yeah, they can do that.
The door.
But what's something that only Jehovah's Witnesses make reference to. So they get on.
Should I use the one?
Yeah.
I guess so. Like jumping from the turnbuckle, jumping off there. That could be like the watchtower.
Well, wait, how about the Watchtower whirlwind? They spin around when they're coming down. The Watchtower.
Nice.
Does that sound good?
The tag team are the Little G Gods.
Okay, Oh, so wait, they have like midgets with you?
That was 144,000. That's it.
Yes. There's a pay-per-view called The Remnant.
Yeah. Let me see here. The
Armageddon. That's another one. The Jehovah's Witnesses.
when they get really upset with you, they spank you.
That's the foreign object. Yeah.
Okay, that's their
The way I can see.
And then let me see here.
A bunch of false prophecies. We got to throw that in there.
So let's say they have a move called the 1914, but they only talk about it in the promos.
Yes.
So when they're doing the promos, they're always talking about this move.
And when I hit you with the 1914, you will be dead and
But no one's ever seen it in 14. And when you ask about it later, they say, you didn't see it? It happened.
Yes.
It was invisible.
There you go. Yeah. Every time. And in the promo, into the following promo.
and especially when I hit you with the 1914, you were knocked down.
And everybody's like, what did that happen?
And then afterwards, we're like, where was the 1940? Oh, did you think it was a physical move? It was merely a spirit.
Yes, it's a spiritual move.
And then maybe they could choke you out with their tie. Like
Yes.
We'll call that
That'll do it.
that tie D. I don't know what we'll call that.
Tie-dye.
Okay, so Hebrew Israelites.
Oh, okay.
Kill the Hebrew Israelite tag team. What are they gonna do?
Gotta come on. How about they call themselves the Purple Rain? Purple Rain. R-E-I-G and Purple Rain. Yeah,
That works.
and they come out with the fringes, right? How about there's a manager called the Oracle.
They're Oracle.
Yeah.
I still feel like he's got to have a military title though, so he's gonna be General Oracle.
Yeah, General Oracle.
Yes. Because they all these minerals in military titles.
It doesn't get into specifics.
I feel like a great move could be the Star of David, where they twist your body until you look like a star.
Start with David. Yeah.
Oh! Their foreign object is throwing stars.
Yeah.
The Star of David.
What do they do with their map? What's the map called?
The chart?
The chart, the 12.
Oh, the 12. So that's the move when they're like bouncing you off all the ropes.
There
They're
you go.
throwing you around the ring.
Yeah.
Each one that's the move.
And then what you do is in the promos, you warn them that you don't want to get hit by the bootlicker, right? So that's right. Yeah. So what you do is every time someone's in the ring at the end, like back in the day, Ted DiBiase used to shove like dollar bills.
Yeah.
So with Hebrew Israelites, what they do is at the end of after the 3 count, after they're knocked out, they bring them to the boot and they just
Make you listen. And I feel like after one match, they have to disagree with each other and start a 2 more new groups. And so now you have two who are ready. They start bashing each other in their promos when they were literally partners.
No, that's
The week before, they were partners the week before, and all of a sudden that guy was wrong the whole time.
Yep.
He doesn't understand.
Yep, absolutely.
That's pretty good.
that is good.
Okay, so Scientologists.
Oh,
Oh man,
Scientologists.
that's kind of hard.
First of all, let's say that they're very, very they're kind of like with Ted DiBiase.
that was good.
They talk about how they won't wrestle you unless you pay a certain amount of money.
Yes.
It's got like an exorbitant honorary.
Time if you win, you've cheated. You're going to sue.
Yeah.
We're going to sue you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've made us look bad.
Yeah.
And let's see, how about they will do the E-meter elbow.
Oh man.
I forget. Are Theatans a good thing or a bad thing?
Thetans are bad. You want to get rid of them.
Yes.
Yeah, you want to get rid of them.
Where's Tom Cruise playing
I was going to say, I was just about to say
He has to come running in from the back. He looks so good when he's running.
Yeah.
So he's got to
I
run.
feel like the name of their group could be called Tom's Crew.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Is it good? Tom's Crew.
Yeah. We got to have something about L. Ron Hubbard, though, right?
Yeah.
He's got to be their manager.
Yeah, well, he's dead, but I mean,
No, but I mean, he's a guy. He's a guy who he wears like the fisherman's hat. Doesn't he always have he has like the sailor's hat, and he always has a little boy with him.
there you go. There you go. He's L. Ron Hubbard Jr. Like anybody could be a junior of.
I will say he's that.
Yeah.
Okay. Word of faith preachers.
Ooh.
Like that's the $1 Million Men.
Oh, that's it. All. Easy.
You know, you gotta have like the push them down.
The douse. Yeah. What are we gonna call that though? It could just be called the push.
Or the towel slap. Like,
Their Ford object is a white suit coat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Or their Ford objects is a credit card.
No.
Like their Dallas Star, their Star Day was like a credit card. It's just got to swing it up.
Yeah, you know what a real Ford object is to a word of faith preacher? The Bible.
Yes, exactly. Very much so. Yes.
Well, there's some good stuff there with word of faith. So they're called the $1 Million Men, right?
Yes.
But the thing is, one of them's got to be a woman.
Joyce Meyer.
But she's got to be Joyce Flyer.
Hey.
Acrobatic.
Let's like flying Brian, flying Brian.
Yeah. Yep.
Instead of Joyce Flyer. Ooh, Benny Sweet Chin music.
Sweet hen music.
Sweet hen music.
Yeah.
Huh? What are you thinking?
I like that. Sweet hen music. Yeah, let's do that. Sweet hen music.
Jesse the Body Duplantis.
Best thing. Very nice. Yeah, that was good. That was good. What else we got?
Jake the TD Snakes.
There does.
Paula Right Hook.
Very nice. Very nice. We
Man,
got
this could go for a
Just a lot of them.
we gotta throw Uncle Kenny in there.
the prosperity pile driver.
There you go.
Yeah.
And they'll let you up if you plant a seed. They won't let you get up from your position.
Unless you fight a sale. You gotta pay to get out of the booth.
Oh, the thing could be okay, there's some good stuff there. Okay, so if we got proud, I feel like we need some Exorcists too.
Ooh, okay.
Like so Bob Larson type.
Yeah.
Or who's the newest, like an Exorcist team?
Okay. What can we do with Exorcists?
They gotta spin your head around.
Yeah. Like a the head spin.
And they go in retirement for a year, and then when they return, their promo is they're back.
Yeah. Well, you can have the there's an actual move called the crucifix powerbomb.
Oh, so this is what tell us about it.
Well, a lot of times the exorcisms comes from, you'll show them the crucifix and then they'll get into the head spinning and stuff like that. And crucifix is oftentimes like, whoa, like a big, a sign of just like fear and dread and things like that to someone who's going to exorcist, or it's causing them to shake and stuff.
Yeah. All their promos are just interviews with demons.
Yes.
It's like what's your name? Baby what? Baby Blood. Why is the name Baby Blood? I entered to the Baby Blood.
That's it right there. Yeah.
Bob Larson could spin, if you got the wrestling mask, spin it around the wrong way, backmask it.
There you go. Yeah.
Man, I knew there's more there with that.
If you backmask it, you got to throw some G. Craig Lewis in there, man. Remember the G. Craig days when he would do the JC backmask and play the songs backwards. So yeah.
Man, I know there's more there. Any other groups with? Oh, we got to have some New Agers in there.
Okay.
Some New Agers.
Yeah. Or Christian Scientists.
We can have Christian Scientists, but I feel like
They're not like enough. They're not big enough.
yeah, we need some New Agers though. Like, what would they be called? Who's a prominent New Ager?
One of you got L.A. Lasky.
Well,
One of the team has to be called Crystal.
Crystal.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Wasn't there a group called the NWO? Wasn't that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
That was a big hole.
New World Order sitting and all that.
I guess they could just be the New Age Order.
the NAO.
The scenes work. New Age.
We use that for JW, for NWT.
There you go. World test
Translation, yeah, world.
The Chakra Chokehold.
Oh, Chakra chokeout.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Okay. What other New Age stuff happens quite a bit? We see New Age all the time.
The Crystal Crusher.
There you go.
I don't know. I think they could
How about the
I'm gonna smash that negative energy right to the max to the center. I'm gonna slam you so hard you'll have an out-of-body experience.
Oh yeah. That's gotta be a move.
Yeah.
That's just called the out of body.
Exactly.
Hold on. The out of body slam.
The out of body slam.
What you had to say to go ahead?
I was going to say, is the astral projection, the astral power drive.
Oh, the astral power drive. We got another.
Your pile drive someone out of the body.
The vibrational victory drop.
How about the so we got to throw. Okay, the name of the tag team is called the Manifestation.
That's actually really
Yeah.
manifestation.
Transcendence.
Hey, you guys got to be.
Transcend world champion.
We could do. There's just ones. You guys tell me ancient alien people. We could do straight up occult. We could do Satanists. We could do a throwback group, something like the Jonestown.
He mentioned
Flat Earthers.
Yeah, Jonestown is good too.
Their final move is the flavor aids.
You mentioned
Fish.
You mentioned Christian Science with Mary Baker Eddy's.
Yeah.
Oh, we can have.
If you're doing the flat earthers, we could have they get both in there. They hold the guy up and then drop them. It's called the twin columns.
Ooh,
That works.
Twin columns, right?
Like the twin towers, they have that, but they
The twin pillar. Yeah, one of the earths.
Yeah.
Oh, and they have a move called the four corners. Yeah, a fork day or that's first. They throw you to sheets for one or something like that.
Yeah, that's usually a bull rope match in wrestling. You have to hit four corners to win.
That's what I was trying to say by the Hebrew, the 12 tribes church.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's what I was trying.
This firmament flip,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the NASA neck breaker. Oh yeah,
There's something about the eye leg. Something about the ice wall, right?
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That should be a wrestler's name.
The ice wall.
You meet us, you're gonna run right into the ice
The
wall.
ice wall.
The ice wall.
That's good.
Courtesy of the ice wall.
What about some Seventh-day Adventists who will never? They don't wrestle on Saturday.
I was going to say the Saturday Slam, but they can.
Exactly. You can't have pay-per-views on the Sabbath, so that wouldn't be Saturday pay-per-views at all.
They can have a move called cooking bacon.
Cooking bacon.
They're sizzling day, because they're sizzling. I don't know. Not that they're doing it. They're taking care of you.
Yeah. Well, they don't drink coffee. Oh, well, that's Jehovah's Witnesses.
They're more
Well, Jehovah's Witnesses don't drink coffee. Really?
They're not into blood transfusions.
Blood transfusions. Yeah.
That can be a good move.
I thought Jehovah's Witnesses had to do coffee's a thing for them too. I know it's like blood transfusions, birthdays is big for JWs. They don't celebrate birthdays. I think they have something against coffee too, but it might be more.
We gotta have some Jewish wrestlers in there.
Ooh.
They gotta have a move, the Hebrew hammer lock.
There you go. How about the Rabbi wrist lock?
Wait, what is it?
The Rabbi wrist lock.
Okay, how would that work? I like that one.
Yeah. You just grab their wrist and just put it behind their.
I like that. I feel like we've got to have a move called the circumcision.
No.
Where they take,
No.
but they say something like, "I'm gonna take your head off."
Shit.
Another level there.
But they're talking about up here.
Yes, it's a double speak.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? No? Yeah? Oh, the shofar smash.
There you go. For an object.
And before they hit you. Oh, that's their song they come out to.
Is that the shofar?
The feast day of Facebuster.
There you go.
They only perform it on Sukkot.
Yeah, or they have to. So they have a finisher move like every 7 years.
Oh man! Any others?
Nah, I think we got the CWF.
There's so many cults to go through.
Yeah, so many.
Yeah, there's so much. We didn't even do like the Nation of Islam. We didn't have any Muslim ones.
Yeah.
Like you got to have world religions too. We didn't get into Roman Catholics, Eastern Orthodox.
Branched out.
Yeah, so
We kind of branched out beyond cult.
there's so many. We got to have one that's like YouTube influencer. So there's
So many.
Yeah.
Very true.
all right. Well, I think that's a good place to end. We kind of have some fun at the end. But in all seriousness, brothers, thanks for joining on the special episode, Street Apologist Live. And we wanted to give you guys some stuff to think about. And Chris, thanks again for letting us do this.
Pleasure, man. Absolutely. Looking forward to many more to come, man. And this space is open for all of us to hang out and do it again. And great topic, man. It's brushed me up from my studies from years ago to talk about it. It was a great discussion, man. Thank you all three of you. That very, very knowledgeable people, very, very wise people. Miguel, very, very smart guy over there, man. Got to give him some love over there, man. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Thank you all. Thank you all. Great discussion, man.
Brother-in-law Anthony, thanks for coming on, bro. And hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. Thanks.
All right, God bless. Peace out. Thanks again, Chris.
Peace.